3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steel. It's just bask for a second. Shouts out to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the glorious Lombardi Trophy over those putrid Philadelphia Eagles. Can we get up real quick? Let's just let this breathe for a little bit, Cowboys Nation. Shout out to the Bomb Squad in the building.
Bomb Squad!
I've got my morning drink that you'll see here in a second, and I'm just sipping this, and it just tastes so well, as my guy Vash Lombardi likes to say. Everything feels so much better after last night's outcome, and Eagle fans, if you want to cry, you can just go ahead and join your coach. I do not care about that call. I do not care if you think it was rigged. Because at the end of the day, you're not holding up the Lombardi Trophy. And yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better, Cowboys Nation. But what's goody? Make sure y'all take a sip of that coffee, take a sip of that water, take a sip of whatever it is. If you're going into work, you don't have to deal with the Eagle fans today. My phone is quiet. My Facebook is quiet. My Twitter is quiet. Nobody's hitting me up. And yeah, we'll get to what this means for the Cowboys. We'll get to congratulating them for getting to the big game. We'll get to all that stuff. But I'm going to bask in this today. Best believe I'm going to bask in this today, Cowboys Nation. What's up with y'all, huh? How we feeling? How we feeling? Nisi in the building. We got my guy, set it off, Chris. Toxic 4th and 8, a.k.a. Shaq, the Vikings fan in the building. Marcus, Boo Poo, Nashawn, James, Internal Thought. Jameson, good morning. D Money, Rue, Alpha Mason, CJ, Glenn, Big Dallas, Emilio, was goody, Emilio, James in the building, Brandon, CA1 since day one. See you. Marquise, got Marcus and Marquise, KHY, Jim over on Facebook, KHY, Cry Eagles Cry. I'm gonna be saying that so many times today, just to let y'all know. D Money, what up? Fish, what up? Listen. What y'all do yesterday? What y'all do for the Super Bowl? Did you enjoy it? Or are there some, there's some Eagle or some Cowboy fans that actually wanted them to win just to stick it to the Cowboys, which is ridiculous. I wasn't one of them. But it is a beautiful morning, an absolute beautiful morning. Admitted it was a good game. Yeah, it was a good game. What is there to admit? It was a fantastic game. Listen, part of me at first wanted them to get blown out, but I was like, no. What's even worse is giving them a chance to win, and then they don't. What's glorious? Come on now. Come on, man. I woke my lady up last night, went upstairs dancing and doing all the craziness. So, look, you can say, hey, Sky, well, at least your team didn't get there. Why are you so happy? I have two teams every Sunday, the Cowboys and whoever is playing the Eagles. I have a show I do every day. We talk about the Cowboys all the time, but I am a diehard Cowboy fan who hates the Eagles. So this feels wonderful. Isn't it, Anthony? Losing by 3, the way they love. Oh, God, I feel so good this morning, man. All right, I'm going to try not to be petty for a whole hour here. We'll let y'all call in if you want to call in and be petty too. 351-999-3787. Gosh, this feels good. Rule said, yo, Scott, how far was that Jalen Hurts? 30 yards? Jalen Hurts threw a 30-yard Hail Mary. Yeah, we'll get to Jalen Hurts. We'll get to the quarterback. We'll get to Patty. We'll get to Andy. We'll get to all of that in a quick second. let's go ahead and hit the roundup. It's not a whole lot of news. Look, today is one of those days where it's going to be kind of rolling the TV out. Just letting y'all know that right now. Just letting you know right now, we're going to roll the TV out a little bit and have a good time talking about the Super Bowl and maybe a little bit of what it means for the Cowboys and things like that. But tomorrow we'll turn the page and we'll start talking about some free agents. I already got that show ready to roll. But today, we rejoice, Cowboys Nation. We rejoice. All right, let's hit this roundup and have some fun.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yo. Boo freaking who, Cowboy fan or Eagle fans. You know, I was watching the play. I saw the holding. And immediately people are calling it rigged and all upset and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I mean, he held. What you want him to do? He deliberately held. It wasn't even one of those sneaky ones, right? Where, you know how sometimes they wrap around their waist and pull them a little bit, but they can't see. That's a veteran heads-up play. He clearly pulled his jersey, and I'm talking about the final seconds of the game or the final minutes of the game, 3rd and 8. Bradbury, who was getting torched, pulls the jersey. They throw the flag, and the whole Twitter sphere melts down. I'm like, oh, man, this is ridiculous. Then James Bradbury himself, oh, this is what's lovely about this one. He comes out right after the game and says, it was a holding. I tugged his jersey. I was hoping they would let it slide. I'm not going to sit here and cap for the Eagles. Nope. He held him. He admitted he held him. They threw the flag. Point blank, period. I don't understand why this is so controversial. Am I tripping? Or is this one of those situations where people are like, well, it was a flag. He held him, but they shouldn't have called it at that point in the game. I hate that argument. Call it like you're going to call it in the 1st to the 4th. I don't understand. A penalty is a penalty. But the whole world is melting down over this play, where there's evidence he held him, and the player said, I was hoping they would let it slide. I cheated. I did a penalty, but I was hoping they wouldn't throw it. Man, look, I'm drinking y'all tears this morning. I just had to get that out the way. And if there's any Eagle fans in here, I'm drinking your tears too. Andy Reid, man, one of my favorite coaches of all time. I feel like I'm deja vu from 3 years ago. One of my earlier solo live stream shows was after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2019. And I just talked about how that Super Bowl solidified Andy Reid's place in the Hall of Fame, solidified his greatness. He just needed to get that bowl. I thought he was one of the best coaches of our time. Now he has a second bowl, and we often hear about Andy Reid off the field and on the field as a person. And Pat Mahomes talked about Andy Reid yesterday and what makes him a special coach. He talked a lot about him, but this is just kind of a 30-second clip about Mahomes on Andy Reid.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And I think everybody knew that, but these last 2 Super Bowls kind of cemented that. And to have someone that is such a great person who gets the best out of the players and to become men and players, you wanted to do that. You wanted to win those Super Bowls for them, and it was it's great that we did that. And like you said, man, we're not done. I'm gonna have him around here for a little bit longer at least.
Now I know people want to make fun of his voice or whatever, but try to get past the voice. Try to get past the voice and listen to what he said. You know, he helps play. He puts players in a position to succeed. That has been Andy Reid his entire career, and it's exactly what he did this season, and it's exactly what he did in that Super Bowl, man. I often tweet about 2 or 3 times. I was, texting with Vach last night. Vach hit me up. How many times did you get mad at joystick. I'm like, just go look at my Twitter. I kept using the term easy buttons. And let me say this before I get to Andy Reid, before I get to the Chiefs side of things, one of my main takeaways from this, in all seriousness, right, removing the trolling, removing the having fun, actually talking football here, was the fact that I saw the easy buttons activated from both teams, for both quarterbacks, from both play callers. And I just sat back here and I'm just like, man, I would love some of that, you know? I'd love some of what they are doing schematically. Pat Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and we'll get to this in a second. And he still was given many easy buttons. Jalen Hurts on the other side. Shane Steichen, who's going to be a head coach with the Indianapolis Colts. Can't wait to see how this works out next year. I guess I would imagine Johnson, the quarterback coach, will be the offensive coordinator moving up. But he was also given easy buttons. And like I said, before we get to the Chiefs, I do want to talk about the offensive performance on that side of the ball, because a lot of the times you saw Steichen just trying to get the ball out quick. You saw Steichen trying to hit the easy buttons. Then boom, let's take a shot deep downfield and just throw it up and let our guys be guys. Let our dudes in Smith, our dudes in Brown, our dudes in Goddard be guys. Goddard, Smith, and Brown were the focal point. And prior to the offense kind of having a weird stall out in that second half, they were on a roll in that first half. Except for the fumble. Just want people to have the same energy, keep the same energy. Yeah, he had a great game. He rushed for 3, quarterback sneak touchdowns and had a nice bomb down there and made some throws. He had a good game. But his turnover cost him that game, didn't it? I wonder if the same energy is kept, because I haven't seen it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have that turnover there. Just saying. That was a costly one, and it was a bad one. It was a real bad one. He quite literally gave them points. But that'll get overshadowed. That will 100% get overshadowed because of who he is and where he plays for. Now back to the Chiefs side of the ball. Watching that game and seeing how Andy Reid utilized Pacheco, who, by the way, is a 7th round running back, Cowboys Nation. The way they use Pacheco, the way they use McKinnon in the run game, I thought was fantastic. And you saw them use plays that worked against the Eagles previously. Somebody on Twitter had brought up I believe it was the play from the Detroit Lions in week 1 that scored a touchdown. Fantastic play call by Ben Johnson. And the Chiefs just basically stole that play and had a huge gain off of it. Me and Jesse talk about this often, joking around. If I was offense coordinator, I would literally just steal plays. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I love how they use Pacheco. I love how they use McKinnon. Both of those guys combined for over 100 yards on the ground and over 5 yards per carry, which also goes to show you how great the Chiefs offensive line was in that game, by the way. They didn't allow a sack, and the run game was just clicking. And it wasn't just standard running. It was creative running. It was attacking the edges. It was inside zone. It was a lot of things they were doing schematically to confuse the Eagles linebackers. And I got to give a lot of credit to Andy and Bieniemy or whoever the hell, but to the staff over there. Because when it came to the passing, obviously Pat Mahomes messed his ankle up a little bit, had to go get that vibranium shot, but it wasn't a typical passing day. They didn't even pass for 200 yards in that game against the suspect secondary. But they were efficient. Pat was efficient. The run game was efficient. And they hardly ever had to punt the ball. I think maybe once or twice. That was it. They didn't punt at all in the second half. They scored every single possession. So watching both teams, but particularly the Chiefs, kind of just press these easy buttons. I mean, the play call to Kadarius Toney, the play call to Sky Moore. I mean, just chef's kiss. Travis Kelce just wide the hell open. Out and ups. I mean, these aren't anything super complicated, but it's just like Pat Mahomes said, Andy Reid taking advantage of his players, using his players properly. And I've always envied, teams that had him, whether it be the Eagles or the Chiefs, because I think he's one of the greatest of all time when it comes to dialing it up, man. You could talk about game man. The funny thing about game management, name me the best game managing coach. They all have flaws in game managing. But football things, Andy Reid is right up there with the Bill Walshes, in my opinion. Yeah, I know people that's older are going to sit here and say, oh, but you can't do that. It's blasphemy. All right, whatever. It's blasphemy then. Andy Reid, he adapts with the time. It doesn't matter his quarterback. He always constantly puts out productive and quality offenses and schemes, and he continues to improve on those things. Now, it obviously helps when you have one of the greatest of all time in Patrick Mahomes. There is no denying that at all. So this hot take here is more of a question than a hot take, because I understand that this kind of went around over the internet. Had to be his hot take today. Patrick Mahomes is already a top 5 quarterback of all time. Hot take or not, Cowboys Nation. Had to be his hot take. Patrick Mahomes, already a top 5 quarterback of all time. No conversation about Nashville's hot style chicken is complete without a serious mention of Hattie B's hot chicken. Founded in 2012 in Nashville, they are renowned nationally for all varying levels of heat, from southern to mild to medium and hot to the Daredevil's dream. Shut the cluck up. Visit their new location in Dallas today, or order a pickup at HattieBees.com. Also, use the link in the description to create a free Hattie B's rewards account, and you'll get a $10 gift card. Pat Mahomes, top 5 quarterback of all time? Yay or nay? Two-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time MVP, league MVP, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All-Pro, and then he also has a second team All-Pro on his resume. Man, this is this is interesting. I want to hear what y'all guys say. Is Pat Mahomes a top 5 quarterback of all time? Jay, top 3, trending to top 5, most definitely. Reggie, yes. Anthony, yes. Emilio, yes. Brady, Montana, Peyton, Mahomes, he's 5 or 6. This is a resounding yes. I thought y'all would be a little bit more pushing him out too soon. That's what I was wondering if y'all were going to go there too soon. I'm gonna cheat here and use, who was it that said this? Trending towards yes. Glenn, I'm gonna use yours right there. Patrick Mahomes is trending towards being a top 5 quarterback of all time. I will say this, he can retire right now and be a first ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot. The beautiful thing about his career, though, is he's only 27 years old. He could legitimately play just 3 to 5 more years at this Pro Bowl level, and then you would, no doubt about it, stamp it, no controversy, no questions asked, top 5 quarterback of all time. What an unbelievable start to his career. He's the first player in NFL history to have a career start out like this. And that's even with the Tom Brady's, who he won 3 Super Bowls in his first 5 years, but he wasn't asked to do as much as Patrick Mahomes has been asked to do. Let's be honest with that one. Because honestly, that's probably the only guy that you can compare Patrick Mahomes to in his start for the start of his career. is probably Tom, since he won those 3 in 5 years, right? 3 in 5 years. He was a rookie, didn't play. Second year came in, so it would be 3 in 5 years. But he was led by, obviously, that defense more often than not. It wasn't really until about 2007 where Tom Brady started to be the catalyst of that team. So y'all can call in. Let me know about Pat Mahomes' game. Let me know about Andy. Let me know about the Eagles. Let me know about your Cowboys. And we'll start off because, you know what? Actually, we're not going to start off with that. Let me get my brother up in here. Vaj. How you feeling this morning, big homie?
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Boom, 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 boom. Let me tell you something, Will Still. Let me tell you something, man. I'm going to try to be classy.
No,
I'm going to try to be classy.
Not today. Tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow.
I just want to be a little classy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, you know, I don't even want to scream because I'm in the house still. I haven't left for the gym yet, you know? But first things first. Let me tell you what Pat Mahomes just did. And this might be dissing the Eagles in process of doing that. Pat Mahomes is definitely top 5. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because this Super Bowl era is one thing, right? But salary cap era makes this thing totally different, right? I think salary cap era takes a lot of dudes away because when they have a team back in the salary cap era, they just kind of keep that team for 6, 7, 8, 9 years, right?
Fair.
So what was so impressive, right? We give the Eagles credit for going all in and pushing all their chips in the table and compiling 16 Pro Bowlers. 16 Pro Bowlers, was it? All right, cool. They compiled 16 Pro Bowlers, Will Still. And this man, on one leg, he limped out there and broke the same damn leg that he hurt, Will Still. He went out there and he smoked them gentlemen with 3 wide receivers that ain't nobody else want.
Yeah.
He smoked them people with wide receivers that they own team didn't even. Marquez Valdez, Jiu-Jitsu Smith, and Tony, Kadarius Tony, they team didn't even want them people. Jared McKinnon was an outcast, Will Still, and this gentleman on one leg that he re-hurt his leg, he went out there and he smoked. He didn't have some top 2 defense to go out there and mitigate some of that. Nah, he went out there and he looked 16 Pro Bowlers in the face and he put hands on them, Will Still. Listen, man, shouts out to the Eagle players, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Jalen Hurts, man, because he did. I did think Jalen Hurts played the best game of his life, man. Shouts out to A.J. Brown. I still think he's a cool receiver, you know what I mean? I don't think he up there with, you know, with them guys or whatever. But, hey, but shouts out to what they did, Will Still. But this man limped out there. He just limped out there with all the drugs. I don't know when them damn drugs gonna wear off. But he limped out there with all them. And he put hands on them children on all 16 of them Pro Bowlers, Will Still. Listen, man, I'm not saying we're going to laugh at Eagle fans today. I'm not saying that we're going to have a good little giggle, but I slept well last night, sir. I must have popped all the melatonin. I was just smiley and happy. It was nothing but good vibes in my crib. I was going for the boy Pat Mahomes last night. And look, Pat Mahomes showed up, and he did that thing for us, all right? Now, luckily, the Eagles ain't like, you know, they ain't like comedians or, you know, stunt men. You know, they don't get paid by the attempt, you know what I'm saying? They get paid by the win. They get paid by the success. And they did not have success, Will Still. They did not have success with still. So in all fairness, we get to make fun of them dudes just like they made fun of us. You know, if the Eagle fans, if they would have moved with a little more class, we might let them slide today. But nothing keep going. But it just keep going across my mind, Will Still. What if it was us? What if it was us that was in the Super Bowl and lost to one of the best quarterbacks of all time? They'll be on our YouTube pages right now eating us up alive, Will Still. So, no, I really don't want to show my hand for what we got later on the volume day because it's going to be lawyers and ninjas and Jordans. You feel me? I just want to know, Will Still. Well, still, you remember James was talking about, well, you know, my elbow is on my arm, but my knee is like my leg knee. You know what I'm saying? It's like my leg elbow. Remember James talking about that?
Hip bone connected to the knee bone thing, yeah.
You know what I mean? So listen, they want to talk about Dak Prescott that they booed the Walter Payton Man of the Year. They want to talk about booing Dak Prescott and all of his interceptions. You know what Jalen Hurts did? Jalen Hurts did a running back interception, and it cost him. It cost him, Will Steele. He had a running back interception. He had a running back interception, and it cost him. So I need to hear from him. All that gyrating, all that typing, all that fly Eagles fly in the chat. Everybody that put a fly Eagles fly in the chat. Every Eagle fan that roll up on you and said at least we was there. Every Eagle fan that say at least we was in the party. Every Eagles fan that say, well, I mean, we only lost by 3. I want y'all to ask them about the running back interception that cost them. I'll talk to you later, Will Steele. You have a good show now, my brother.
Appreciate you, Rod. Y'all do not want to miss later. Y'all do that. I told Michelle, yes, I said, listen, I want to fast forward to 3 o'clock, honestly. Yeah, I'll get through the day, but I want to fast forward to 3 o'clock. The running back pick 6 is crazy. Jiu-Jitsu Smith is even crazier. Just classic. Come on, man. Drop flames in the chat. I mean, makes a point there about Patty. But see, we knew Pat was an alien. We knew he was an alien, and I'm pretty damn sure they shot his ankle up with some vibranium at halftime. God, he's so good, man. He's so good. Well, Toxic Tom, good luck following that up, brother.
Good morning, Sky.
Do not rain on my parade today, Toxic Tom. If you're not calling in here to troll on these Eagles or talk about the game,
you know,
brother.
My stepmother is an Eagles fan, so I was at a Super Bowl party last night.
Okay.
And the only thing I could think of is, man, how do we get to play? When do we play in February? How come we never get here? That's the first thing that came in my mind. And when they lost, my stepmom, very humble Eagles fan, and I just sat there thinking, oh, man, this is great. They lost. And the first thing that popped into my mind is, you know, I'd still rather be in this situation than just being a laughing stock at the divisional round every single year. And my point on this whole thing is this. Cowboy fans, don't ring the bell. Don't hear the bell. The Eye of Sauron needs to stay on the person who is solely responsible for us not being at a Super Bowl. So I'm glad the Eagles lost, but, man, I would kill to see us in a Super Bowl. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. I'm so tired of Super Bowl Sunday and seeing us not there. And that's just what it boils down to, man. Like, I guess I love seeing you be toxic this morning and taking joy in someone else's misery, but I just want to get there, man. At that same time, do you ever see someone who gets something, they get their goals, and you're like, man, I just want a bite of that. Like, what is it going to take for us just to even get there? I just want to see it, man. That's where I'm at. I really want to see it. It's sad that we have to take pride that the closest thing we're going to get to a Super Bowl is seeing our division rival lose. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. That's where I'm at with this whole thing. So I really hope that Life Alert looks at this and goes, I'm really sick and tired of this, and I'm really sick and tired of the Eagles stealing my headlines and watching them lose. How can we be there Super Bowl Sunday so we don't fall apart and don't have that Hail Mary that goes 15 yards and all that other noise? That's where I'm at, man. I want to be happy, but at the same time, I want change, man. And like I said in the chat, I would sell my grandma. I would do anything to win. And I just wish we had that same sentiment, man. I just wish we would have done what the Eagles did, just to even get a chance, man. I just want a chance. That's all I want, man. I'm sorry. But do you think it'll come? Like, do you think it's going to be the coming to Jesus where we're going to be like, yeah, I love seeing this team lose. Now let's go out there, load this goddamn roster, and let's fuck these dirty birds up that they were jawing all goddamn year. No more Noah Brown. No more of curl routes on 4th down. No more freaking Zeke at center. Are we going to get there and go, let's clip these dirty birds, and we're not going to have someone else do our own dirty work? Let's fucking kill these guys next year ourselves. That is what I want. I want to be the guy pulling the trigger. That's what I want to be, sir. I'll talk to you later.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Toxic. Fair enough. God, man, I knew that was going to happen. I feel you, Toxic. I get it, man. Yeah, we're hurt. We're all hurt. You're really hurt. Let me just do my read. God, man, that bummed me out, Toxic. The first couple calls presented by the Cochran Firm, Pulse of the Nation hotline. Call on in. Let's have a good time today. The Cochran Firm has served the DFW area, fighting for, protecting since 2005. Their attorneys are headlined by Brian Pope and Larry Taylor, and they handle the most challenging civil cases in the DFW area, from fraud to death, wrongful death, truck, automobile accidents, class action suits, and many more. And Toxic just took it all out. Look, if you need an attorney, if you get into these accidents out here in Dallas because y'all can't drive, hit up my guys Larry and Brian down at the Cochran Firm, 1-800-THE-FIRM, or visit CochranTexas.com for your free consultation today. I don't even. Reid, what's good, Reid?
Hey, what's up, Sky?
What's up with you, man?
What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Hey, man, don't you hate when you going through Delta Sonic and you trying to get through the pre-wash and somebody pull up too damn close and you can't get your pre-wash? But that's beside the point. I'm trying to be godly this morning. Hey, man, but I'm going to put it to you like this. Cry, Eagles, cry. Talking all that stuff. Hey, made it all the way to the Super Bowl. And ain't got no win. That's why y'all lost.
Yeah.
And injury put it to y'all. Suckers.
That's the other little part right there. I did say Andy Reid Bowl. Not only did they lose, they lost to the dude that lost the Super Bowl when they was in the Super Bowl in 2004. You just gotta love it, man. Just gotta love it.
You gotta love it, man. My thing is like this, man. For all the people that put all those memes out between San Francisco and Philadelphia Eagles throwing Dak Prescott in the trash. Throw your quarterback in the trash with him. But my thing is like this. I'm happy that they lost. We ain't got to hear the Eagles all year. They still going to try to make something out of nothing, but it ain't going to work. They can try that with somebody else. But the long story short, I hope that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones do some soul searching, but more Jerry Jones than Stephen Jones, because Stephen Jones already stuck in his ways. He don't want to spend no money. But I need Billiard Jerry, Riverboat Jerry to come along and spend this money and get us the players that we need in here to make a run, man. I just want to make a run because we're so close, man.
Let me pivot on that conversation because I've seen this. Obviously, Toxic said something around the same thing. Many people have said this. I think the actual solution is not for Riverboat Jerry to come back. Jerry is 80 years old. He don't know what's going on. They need to hire a GM. They need to just let Will McClay do his thing or hire a GM that's scared to get fired. Because I don't think the answer is to let Jerry Jones make the decisions again and just be Riverboat. I don't think that's the answer. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, if he's not gonna be Riverboat, just sign off on some of these high priced players and just back off and let them fill the rest of the roster.
But I'm
cool with that too.
Nobody's going to Jerry with the high priced players. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like Stephen Jones ain't gonna go to him like, yo, we gotta go get yada yada. What you think, Jerry? He's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So they need a general manager that can just do his own thing if that's what we're gonna do. Not give the say all to Jerry Jones, who's 80-something years old and don't know what's going on.
Damn, why this couldn't be the early 2000s or the 90s? But, it is what it is, man. I'm just happy that the Eagles lost. That's all I care about. On to the off season and draft, signing players and drafting players.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. All right, I'm up out of here, yo.
All right, Rick.
Peace.
Yeah, by the way, tomorrow this is going to turn back into full-blown off-season stuff. I think we're going to start our first free agent primer, so stick around for that. I always enjoy doing the free agent stuff. But today, talk about that Super Bowl a little bit. Well, we could put a little bit of Cowboys into it, obviously, but just don't No rain on my parade, man. Don't rain on my parade today. D Schiff, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Scott?
What's up with you, man?
Nothing much, man. Nah, man, I think you can probably go ahead and put Mahomes ahead of Peyton.
Oh,
You
yes.
can't deny really.
I like that's
like
maybe
his
that's the
skill
question I
set.
should ask. There you go.
He can be ahead of Peyton, and maybe one more ring, and he's kind of behind Montana. I think if he gets 4, just on his accord, then I think you can arguably say that those 4 are better than Brady's 7, because I think arguably maybe Brady had like 3 out of those 7, maybe 4 out of those 7, and you can say that was Brady's teams. But yeah, I don't think you can say Brady carried the Bucks or those first 2 with the Patriots the way the Mahomes has carried these couple teams.
If Mahomes is probably going to eclipse Brady, I think he's going to have to at least it's going to have to be kind of I don't want to use a Jordan LeBron reference, but he's going to have to get to a lot of Super Bowls. Like, he's going to need more than 3, right? He's going to have to get to like 6 or 7 and win like at least 5 of them, right? Like it got to be something like that.
I think if he wins 3 more, I think you can say those 5 were.
Bro, if he goes, what's that 5? 5-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can argue. I don't think I can argue you down on that. If he goes 5-1 in the Super Bowls.
But I'm nice to see the Eagles kind of crash and burn. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Like, they got to 1, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're not gonna remember this. Like, you're not gonna remember the Eagles. I mean, they have those first round picks. You can be excited about like what Jalen Hurts is kind of becoming. But, you got to remember a lot of their team is they have about 8 players, man, that are critical to that team that are going to be free agents. And, I mean, you're already paying about 8 other guys big money. So, and then, you got to go around and pay Jalen. So you got to pay Jalen. You got to, figure out what you're going to do with Kelsey, Hargrave, Gardner Johnson, the linebackers.
Man, got some decisions to make.
You got Bradbury, Siamalu, that right guard, Miles Sanders. So you got some guys you got to pay, man. With the Eagles, and I think in the Cowboys way, man, you just gotta spend a little bit of money, man. You kind of mismanage your funds. You got to take some money away from Tyron and Zeke, in my opinion. Get you an offensive lineman first round, that wide receiver the second. Get Dak some weapons. You saw with Kansas City. They had a lot of weapons. He had a lot of options. So they weren't, number 1 receivers, but there's a lot of options and based off of Mahomes' talent. So, man, good talk, man. I'll sit back and listen, bro.
I appreciate you, D-Shift. I will say this, if I was an Eagles fan, but if I was, understand that they have a lot of free agents and whatnot. But what would give me peace is the fact that I've literally watched my general manager tear down a team and build it back up within a 5 to 6 year period. And not saying that they even have to do that because they got 2 first round picks. They're going to have cap. A lot of the free agents they have, in my opinion, some of those dudes can be replaced. So I would feel fine, in the sense of not feel fine today. I'll be sick today. I'll be sick for quite some time, right? But once the new year turns and we're talking about team building and all that stuff, Howie, man, Howie know what the hell he's doing. So if I was an Eagles fan, I would trust Howie Roseman to figure this out and compete to be one of the best teams next year and moving forward. But yeah, they got a lot of decisions to make, man. They do. I think who doesn't get enough credit though is the general manager over there in Kansas City as well. I know it's easy to be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, for sure, right? But while they didn't go out and make a ton of splash signings this season, the signings that they made after they lost that Super Bowl, the moves that they made, winning the Super Bowl prior to that, are still paying off today. They're still paying off today. They saw an issue in after losing the Super Bowl. Guys, we're talking about the Super Bowl. They lost, and they said, never will we allow this to happen again. Go trade for a first-round pick for offensive tackle. Go sign a big money guy, and also draft one of the most talented offensive linemen in the draft in the same offseason. Okay, we had to get rid of Tyreek Hill because we weren't going to go with an extension. He wanted more money. All right, cool. But we're not going to replace him with James Washington. We're going to go get a couple proven number 2 guys. We're also going to trade for a former first-round pick who, by the way, Kadarius Toney, that paid off. And we're also going to draft a wide receiver in the second round who, by the way, that paid off too. So, that organization is all about continuing to surround their guys. And when I say guys, I don't mean just Pat, but I'm talking about Andy, right? Bieniemy, Travis, whomever. With guys that fit and that they can take advantage of. So both of these organizations, again, we talk about another takeaway. The first one was a lot of the, I don't want to call it games, the eye candy or whatnot, but a lot of the play calling, a lot of the easy buttons that were pressed on both sides of the field. The league can take a look at that and say we need to do more of that. And to be real, most of the league is trying to do that anyway. And the other one is, if you look at it from an organizational standpoint, both of these organizations should be given credit for, you can say, oh, let me call it what you want to call it. But for my opinion, having some gonads to go get it. Good morning, Coach Mark.
Hey, what's going on, Sky? The eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed. Was soaring, but it got shot down out of the sky like some of these unidentified objects, and now it's on the ground.
I like that one.
So, yeah. So, but listen, man. Hey, great game. I think it was a well-played game.
It was a fun game.
Yeah, well-played game. I watched the game with a multitude of Eagle fans. I wasn't boisterous. I just felt that the game, it was, even when the game seemed like the game was 24-14, and I seen it was going to be a high scoring, it seemed like it was going to be a high scoring game. I just felt that the Kansas City was more comfortable with a game being in the 30s. And the Eagles may slow down because all year long, Eagles start out, they're beginning in the first half, they score a lot of points, and all year long, even in the playoffs, they slow down at the end of the game because of, I wouldn't say, I would say Jalen Hurts played well, but still, again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of his throws and stuff like that was like, hey man, I'm just gonna make sure the receiver make a play. I'm just gonna throw it in the covers and the guy's gonna make a play. And so sometimes you have to do that with good players.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to put it in a place and let them make plays.
AJ Brown, Smith, and Goddard, those are guys just throw it up and I mean he was literally just throwing it up. A couple times it could obviously been an interception, but it didn't happen that way. And in other times, AJ Brown make a fantastic catch. Dallas Goddard makes a fantastic catch. Smith makes a fantastic play. If you go look at the distribution of the ball, the game plan was clear. We're going to put the ball in those dudes' hands, and Jalen Hurts is going to run. Like they couldn't do anything on the ground from a running standpoint. It was Jalen Hurts running that really kept them afloat on third downs. They had a ridiculous 18 third downs.
Yeah, but even though Kansas City gave up some points, the physical play in their defense, I was very impressed with their tackling and being physical. But let's I want to say this right quick. We give credit to the Kansas City, and yes, Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't say he had one of these memorable days. He made the plays when he needed to make the plays. He had he didn't turn the ball over. He was precise with the short throws. Didn't go deep a lot at all. Well, Kansas City defense didn't do that. Offense didn't do that. Philadelphia made an adjustment where they said, well, hey, we're going to try to take Kelce. We're not going to man him up anymore. And they went to what Kansas City did with number 2 receivers and guys that they're guiding that replaced Tyreek Hill. They put those guys in places where they do well, and the guys made the plays. That's what you do. You don't have to you have to just utilize guys at their skill set and let them make plays. Okay, Toney comes in. His skill set is a return guy. You put him in a spot, and he made a play. These are what you do. You put the guys in their place, in their skill position, and you say, hey, you make a play because I know you do that well. And that's what they did. They brought these young guys along. People just don't understand. You could do these things, but I give the defensive staff of Kansas City a whole lot of credit. Anytime you have 3 rookie defensive backs and you get to the Super Bowl and win it, and these are not first-round draft picks, that's a credit to your defensive staff. They did some coaches. They went through the growing pains with these guys. They stayed with them, and these guys made plays. They got better, and we saved money on the defensive end with defensive backs. We let some of the high-priced guys go because they was up for contract. We could throw money into this here and there, and everybody came along. Their coaching staff did a good job of getting marginal players to play at the top of their game, and they won a Super Bowl. That's what we have to do here. We got a great guy in Will McClay. We can go out and get some pieces here and there, but let's make marginal players, put them in their skill set, and let's go win a Super Bowl. Great show, Sky. Appreciate it, but the Eagle hasn't landed.
Eagle is landed. Appreciate you, Coach. I would love to see. This is what's so weird. Like, just do this for a couple years and it doesn't work. Go back to doing it your way, which also hasn't worked. But I would love to see Will McClay, just let Will McClay cook. You might be like, well, Sky, they already are letting Will McClay cook. I mean, he handles the draft. He handles the player personnel, the pro player personnel. Y'all already know what I compare Will McClay to, and it's not no disrespect to Will McClay. It's just, it is what it is. He's the Uber Eats driver. Stephen Jones tells him what to go to the grocery store and pick. And if that's not there, if you ever have Grubhub or Uber Eats, they have an option where it says substitute. Okay, if that's not available, this is available. Keeps it in the price range. You obviously you're not going to substitute for something extremely expensive. You're probably going to try to stay in that same range. Will McClay says, all right. Check. Can y'all hear me? I'm tripping. Check. All right, it's just me. Will McClay says, all right. Let me go to the store with the list and pick it out. Brings it back. Here you go, Steven. Cook it up. I would like for them to just allow Will McClay to cook himself. Allow him to pick the groceries. Allow him to cook it up. And then if it doesn't work, now you got a fall guy. There's no fall guy in Dallas. The fall guy always comes down to the quarterback and the head coach. But there is no front office fall guy. Therefore, there is no pressure. Was my audio? All right, my audio was really weird in my ear. Brandon, how we know this? How we know what? That's what Will McClay is doing? It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious, pretty easy to see. Will McClay is a player personnel, pro player personnel scout. He's not signing checks. He's not making the trades. It's quite clear if you listen to Stephen Jones, who said, yeah, well, last time we wanted to spend money with Brandon Carr. Well, we did make a big trade in 2018. It's clear. The guys who are making those type of decisions, it's not Will McClay. Good morning, DJ.
Hey, what's going on this morning, Scott? How you doing? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling glorious.
Man, okay, so listen. Pat Mahomes was top 5 before yesterday, in my opinion. Right?
Ooh.
Now here's why.
Okay.
His performance since he started, what he's pieced together is a better performance than anybody that we've seen before him. It truly is. His little stint right now is the greatest little 5-year stint that we've ever seen from a quarterback.
Yes, he's the only player in NFL history to have a start a career this way.
And so that's my big thing there. So now, after winning last night, he is a top 3 quarterback in my opinion, because his little debut season, what was it, 2017, 2018, whatever that was, 2018. that was the better season than any other season that we've seen from anybody. You can go Peyton Manning 2014 or Peyton Manning 07. You can go Tom Brady in 07 with Randy Moss. You can go Drew Brees in 2011. You can go Aaron Rodgers in 2010. It was better than all of that. But not only is he putting the stats up, he's winning without the help that all these other guys get. If you want to go Tom Brady early on, he had the defense and Bill Belichick. You want to go Terry Bradshaw back in the day, he had the Steel Curtain. The level of play that this dude, and it's not just, him picking things apart, which, I mean, Andy Reid has a part of that and everything, but he consistently comes through. The moment is never too big.
No.
And I don't care who you talk about, they've had moments that were too big for them. And any game that he's lost in the playoffs really hasn't been his fault.
Well, he didn't play well in the second half against the Chiefs last year. But, I mean, again, his resume, you can't knock him. It's just one time. You can't be perfect, right? Like, you just can't possibly be perfect all the time.
Yeah,
he wasn't good in the second half in that game. I don't want to say he didn't have the same help. I mean, before this year, he had one of the sickest rosters offensively that I've ever seen. With the weapons
defensively. Yeah, because there was no question offensively. Let me clarify. Defensively.
Also, Andy Reid, I mean, he even gives credit to this. He even admits that, I don't know what I'd be if I didn't come here with Andy Reid as well. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I just want to say I do think he's had not only coaching help, but also talent help. But again, quarterbacks need that. I think he's just done the maximum with that help, and now he also has this nod on his resume, right? I didn't have that all-pro offensive help this year. Y'all took weapons away, gave me, number 2 type weapons, and I still went out and won the Super Bowl. So that speaks even more volumes.
And that's part of the reason why I had him top 5, because they did take that away, and he still won the MVP.
Yeah.
And arguably, it was one of his more efficient seasons.
Maybe his best.
A little bit higher on the. Yeah, you could argue that. I still think it's the 5,050 season personally. Because the man came out and admitted he didn't even know how to read defenses. He was just winging it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. But yeah, like with this win and this Super Bowl MVP, that puts him the only 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion, that are ahead of him, and that's purely off of resume, are Tom Brady and Joe Montana. That's it.
And he has a chance to surpass Joe. I mean, if he wins, what, he's got 2 now, 2 more. I think he would supplant Joe Montana.
Well, see, that's my thing. He wins one more, I'm putting him ahead of Montana. If he gets to 5, then I'm seriously considering having him as the GOAT talk, because it was way more efficient, and he is the predominant reason on why he got all of his. You could argue I think it was Reid or it may not have been Reid, it might be D. Schiff, who was arguing that, hey, Tom Brady's, there's 3 or 4 that you could argue wasn't Tom Brady. His first 3 in the early 2000s, I don't really think that one was him. I think Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Tom Brady was then. But that's a whole nother argument, which we won't get into. That's a whole rabbit hole.
You trying to start some shit this morning. Come on now.
But it was also beautiful seeing the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni getting humbled was a big need for me this year, because, oh my goodness. Which, I mean, hey, talk your shit, bro. Do you? You're winning, you're dominating, you do you. But when you fall, don't get mad at the people for being happy to see you fall when you've been in their face all year.
Did you see what Pat Mahomes did to him when he was trying to talk shit on the field? And he's like, come on, dog, put your head down. Like, that was embarrassing.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, or my bad. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts was like, come on. That looked like,
this is a 24-year-old quarterback.
Right, that looked like
this is your quarterback. And he's telling you how to, bro. I was like, that's the problem. That is the problem.
Look,
right
Jordan
there.
Love.
I'm like, bro, sit down somewhere.
Jordan
you
Love.
don't do anything. Just ride out.
Right. Jordan Love came out on hello. Jordan Love came out on NFL Network and said he's just along for the ride. He's not doing anything over there. Good for them now. Good for him. And he got upset. All these Eagle fans got upset. But he doesn't call the plays no more. They stripped him of that last year. He doesn't run defense. He's just their annoying mascot.
Put your name on the project at the end of the day and shut the hell up. That's all you got to do. Let everybody else do the project for you and get you your A+. You talk the nerds into doing it for you. Just sign the project and do it. Don't sit here and talk shit to everybody else about their project when you didn't do shit with yours.
I feel you.
But all right, man, I'll let you get out of here.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, that was cringy. Bring it back. Man, put your hand down. Come on, man. What you doing? Yo, how you get sunned by your 24-year-old quarterback? This ain't Aaron Rodgers. This ain't Tom Brady. You know, Jalen Hurts. And, you know, shout out to Jalen Hurts because he's another guy that's, you know, mature, great guy off the field and whatnot. And he looked like the adult in that situation. And Hurts probably did it because he's like, hey, man, I got to go back out there. I got to go play against that defense. That's why you see him doing all this because he don't got to go play them. He's not making the calls. He's not getting the criticism for that Gannon is getting today. He gets to reap the benefits of Howie Roseman. I digress. L. Gene. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Blessed to see another day, man.
Yes, sir.
Good outcome yesterday. I'm glad it was a good game. But what I seen yesterday was if the Joneses don't see that you got to get dudes up front, you got to go get some dudes, then we'll never win a Super Bowl, man. I mean, Philadelphia had dudes all up front all year, and they showed up. Hargraves, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. I mean, granted, they drafted him, but they went and got dudes. Kansas City, Chris Jones, got Frank Clark. They went and got him. You got to get dudes up front, man.
I will say this.
It just,
those dudes didn't show up last night, though.
oh, they didn't show up. You know what's crazy? Crazy about that, man?
Yeah.
What was crazy about that whole situation was everybody was talking. They were chirping with the 49ers were still talking. And you did not hear a word from Kansas City.
Because they knew.
Didn't hear. I mean,
look, Kansas. Look, the Niners knew if they had any competent quarterback play, they had a shot because they saw exactly what probably Andy Reid saw. There was ways to take advantage of this Gannon defense, and they probably saw what we saw. You know, Dak Prescott ate that team up while getting sacked 6 times. So they were not impenetrable, right? Their offense is a bit more difficult to deal with, in my opinion, their defense, because it's get home or bust. Is how I feel. But they didn't get home at all. And the run game opened up. And I think the run game part of it was the line playing well, but also some of the scheme things they were doing. But those dudes couldn't get home against Pat yesterday against that offensive line. So they should get, some of that MVP trophy.
Yes, sir. And another thing I noticed, too, is I watch Kansas City. I haven't watched them all year. But what that coaching staff was able to do with that supporting cast around Kelsey and Mahomes, man, that was masterful, because you got bona fide stars at Mahomes and Kelsey. The rest of those guys are at best number 2s. But as Coach was saying, they got the best out of them. They weren't just dudes. They were actually legit wide receivers. And it just takes me back to Dak Prescott. I mean, if you put any of those receivers, any of our receivers on that Kansas City squad, I don't think any of them besides CeeDee Lamb might make that team. And it's crazy that Dallas really went into the season with Dennis Houston starting opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and they were okay with it.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, how good is Dak Prescott? If you gave Dak Prescott legit weapons, would this season have been different? And I'm willing to say, if you give Dak Prescott Amari Cooper, that 49er game is not close. You lose Tony Pollard, you still have the ability
don't know, man.
to
I don't know, because even if Coop came back, yes, that obviously would have helped. But my whole worry this whole season was, are we going to be able to get a consistent performance from both him and Kellen Moore? I thought Kellen Moore was the most important piece to this offense because you needed. I'm trying to put this together. My apologies. Because you needed to be schematically advantageous. I felt like you needed to have that advantage, in the biggest games. And in week 1 of the playoffs, you did. In week 2, you didn't. And yeah, it would have been helped to have Amari Cooper, but I don't know if it would have made a difference. And it's not like he would have changed the hook calls. It's not like he would have. Tony Pollard goes down and he doesn't use Davis. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just didn't feel good about bringing him back. And then when they compounded it by not adding weapons, I'm like, well, let's hope this thing works in the playoffs.
I don't. I'm gonna leave you with this. I don't know if that was you that tweeted that. Did anyone see any button hooks in any one
that
of
was
these
me.
offenses? And I was just like, man, you know what? How did we go 12-5 with teams repeatedly saying? I mean, everybody echoed the same thing. The Cowboys run the same offense. We knew what they were going to do before they did it. We knew exactly what they were going to do before they did it. Like,
Sirianni, bro.
Oh my God, man! It hurts it hurts because I feel like this was another wasted season.
Yeah, that was me who tweeted that.
Man,
but it was a serious question. Like, I'm gonna go look at the all 22, just and literally see, like, how many times did we see a bunch of all 4 curls or 3 curls, and how many times did we see more over routes, mesh routes, crossing, getting the ball deliberately to the running backs, et cetera, et cetera. I bet you it will far outweigh the curls and hooks.
Absolutely, man. Hey, you do a wonderful job, Scott, man. Hey, man, you take care. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, keep up the good work, man. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Somebody asked me, I think it was Glenn, do I have video of Nick Sirianni getting sunned? Here you go, right here. Here it is. And look at his smirk. I mean, this is just, when your quarterback got to tell you to do that, man. I don't think listen, I don't have no proof of this. I'm not down there in Philly. I don't even talk to my Philly fan friends that's plugged in about this, but I don't really think Nick Sirianni has any say down there. I don't. I think that Howie Roseman runs things down there. Nick is the yes man, excuse me, and Steichen and Gannon are the guys, which Eagle fans hate Gannon. They don't like Gannon right now. I wonder if he gets a head coaching job and they move on from Gannon. The Eagles organization doesn't have a problem moving on from defensive coordinators. They don't. Since Jimmy Johnson has passed away. They don't. Let's get a couple more. I believe we don't wipe them 304s. My guy Chris, this you?
Yes.
Yes,
Will,
sir.
How are you doing today, my guy?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Hey, we're both PA guys, right? So we understand. We understand what it's like over here. So I want everybody listening. Do not let these fans off the hook. Don't let them off the hook. And you want to know why? Because this is the same fan base that will take that picture of Dak Prescott when he was in his most vulnerable moment after he snapped his ankle, and they will laugh at you. And they'll use it to mock you.
Yeah.
This is the same fan base that will berate you and call us the Cowgirls and say all this stuff about us. So do not let these fans off the hook. They're the most classless fans in the entire sports, in entire sports, okay? So I'm not letting them off the hook. They're getting these jokes, and I love that they lost in the most heartbreaking fashion possible. I love it.
Yeah, part of me, and I told Vashis, part of me wanted them to get blown out, but I couldn't ask for a better. This is the best outcome possible. This is way better than a blowout.
And you want to know what's great as well? They got no excuses. Everybody, and I mean everybody on their team was healthy. They weren't missing anybody. It's not like their offense didn't show up. Their offense showed up. You want to know what happened? Their defense got exposed for exactly what it was. We knew what it was because we went in, we played them and we dropped 40 points on them. And we exposed their weaknesses. And look, I get it. They made it to the Super Bowl. Congratulations to them. You want to know what? I'm jealous of the fact that they won the conference. But if you gave us
the path that they got to the Super Bowl, we'd get there too. So they're getting these jokes today. They're getting these memes. I mean, I must have posted at least 10 things to my Instagram clowning the Eagles. Because they're not getting let off the hook. They're not. And whenever I think about it, I think about that pig Nick Sirianni and his smirk and just the smugness that he comes off with. I think about all those fans on Twitter that don't let us live anything down. We could lose a regular season game, and they're posting memes. And I'm going into work, and they're screaming in my face, how about them Cowboys? Or how about them Cowgirls? And all this. So they're getting these jokes, and they deserve it. They deserve to get they don't deserve class from us. They do not deserve it because they don't give class to anybody else. Sky, I'll talk to you, my guy.
Appreciate you, brother. And if they try to say, oh, well, there was a penalty, that was a flag, it should have been a flag.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
we don't care.
We don't care, bruh. You lost. That's all that matters to me. Glenn, what's up, man?
What's going on, Scott? Happy Monday, my man.
Yes, glorious Monday.
Glorious.
You
Monday.
in Philly?
Caller.
So
Yes,
what's the moves down there in Philly right now?
Crickets. If you follow the chat, crickets. They eating crow with their crickets this morning. They're on the plane, quiet. I got a buddy out there. He is done. He's an Eagle fan, a Sheagle fan, Pigeon fan. They are done. Nothing but crickets. They grease the poles, paws. Ain't no need to grease no poles, paws, because ain't nobody going up on poles, paws. Broad Street is safe. Don't have to worry about no poles, paws. I'm going to just keep saying it. Don't grease no poles, paws, you bums. Y'all stink. Everybody that comes in your chat every week, they come in Vox chat every day. They come in Law chat. Where are you? Where are you now? They are horrible. Stephen A. made up that nonsense about Cowboy fans. He used to work in Philly. He know who fans are fakes and frauds and talk about, we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's been the Eagles fans since day one. I'm 56 guy. I've seen the highs and the lows. They are horrible. They talk crap every day, all day. When Dak broke his ankle, my man, you're absolutely right. They laughed. I had a man, he sent me a text talking about his buddy said this about Dak, about the ankle. Then he goes, I would never say that. I would never wish a player to get hurt. Then 10 minutes later, he sends me a text with some laughing about Dak. They are horrible. Nick is smug. Mr. I'm not too high, not too low, but every time you score a touchdown, you jumping up and down like you was Pop Warner coach.
They
you
beat the Colts.
Idiot.
He beat the Colts and did a crowd surf, dog, by one.
Yeah, he's a fraud. I can't make up that story about Whitney Houston. He's envisioned himself on the sideline. They actually put that story out there, panned the camera to him, and he's bawling, crying. Come on, man. Get the heck out of here. You fraud. I can't stand
I'm
him.
sorry, bro. Well, I look right over to Michelle. I said, he's about to get memed. If they lose this damn game, it's a wrap for Nick Sirianni and this crying stuff. He tried to pull the what's the cat's name from Denver? The running back. By the way, rest in peace. I think he passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But, where the tears was rolling down his eyes during the national anthem.
Yeah, that was real. Nick was fake. He built himself up for that. That was so fraudulent. I told my wife and daughter, my daughter's like, how you know that? I said, because he's a fraud. He's a fake. I can't stand that smug. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he looks. They got a thing here in Philly talking about hate the face. He's a hate the face. I can't stand him.
Brandon wants to do a 24-hour Nick Sirianni crying stream. That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
He's horrible. Hey, Will, do you have that audio and footage of Hurts sunning him? Because I missed that.
Yeah, I put it up. I put it in there. It's not audio. It's just video. I'll run it back again for you.
All right, please run it back. Yo, have a great week. CB Nation, stay alive. I can't stand these pigeons. They stink. Have a good day. Love you, bro. Stay safe. Peace.
Appreciate you. Hey, Jay, I was just about to say that. People on Twitter were saying he was crying because they saw the script of the fourth quarter. Nick Sirianni saw the script. This whole script thing is hilarious, by the way. Hilarious. Glenn, I'm going to go ahead and put this up for you again. Let me see. Oh, wait. I just had it up. Here we go. So if you're in the chat, this is what happened during the game. I think it was a review happening, and both teams are going on and off the field. And Nick was talking trash, saying, "Yeah, come on back, Kansas City." And his own quarterback was like, "Nah, man, what are we doing? Get your hands down. I got to go out there and play that defense." Magic City Marv, how we feeling
What
this
up,
morning?
Phil? I love it, my brother. You should have seen me last night when I had to work at the club. One of the bouncers, a Philly fan, me and him be going at it in front of everybody. And when I got there, I tore his ass up. I said, look what happened. Your quarterback lost the game. You try to talk about Dak Prescott. He's a bum, and y'all got to pay him. He's a running quarterback. You in trouble now. You got to pay your whole team like we have to pay our whole team. You in trouble. Because you know why?
Going to
we
jail
beat
now.
y'all ass. We scored 40 on you. I said we draft better than y'all, and we about to beat y'all ass again. We going to beat y'all. And you know what? Did you see what happened last night, brother?
What happened,
You
Marv?
see how they scheme the run, how they scheme the receivers with average receivers? And we got fast receivers that we didn't use last year. That's why Coach McCarthy said, no, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out on my own. I ain't going to let this Kellen Moore kill me with these stupid-ass curl routes. And I said, and San Diego guy was there. I said, in San Diego, y'all can have that bum Kellen Moore. He cost us 2 years, wasted our years.
Yeah,
We ain't got to worry about it no more. Now we got the runs, how we run. Did you see how the quarterback for the Seattle, when Scottamore had the running game, that's why he was throwing the damn ball wide open. When I saw Collier show the film, we got the same thing. We got the running. We got the offensive coordinator that know how to make the offensive line block. We love to run anyway. And now Dak Prescott get to go up on the center with the fake, and he's good at that. Oh my God! Number 9 get to go on a 9 route. Simi get to go on a 9 route. And then whoever we bring in, y'all in fucking trouble. We finna beat y'all fucking ass. How about them Cowboys? Yes, that's fire. So all the Cowboy fans, we should be celebrating. We got the last cancer out of the building. Yelling sorry ass more. San Diego, y'all in trouble.
San Diego in
Hallelujah.
trouble. Whenever they get a team back there, Marv, they in trouble. All right, brother. Appreciate the passion, Marv. In all seriousness, though, what he was saying and some of the things that, I was talking to John from DMV Fanatics and tweeting about the West Coast, some of the West Coast principles was happening watching that game. And I'm not sure if we're going to go full blown old school West Coast or we're going to mix it up. Although Schottenheimer kind of mixed in a little bit of the newer ish offenses with some of what he was doing. But I think you'll see more of West Coast things. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I think you'll see them get the ball to their running backs more. I think you'll see less 4 curls across. And I was joking, but I really wasn't joking when I tweeted it. And I'm really go back and watch. How many times did you see a curl route targeted, like all curls just targeted on a consistent basis, or comebacks, deep comebacks and things like that? Like, how many times did you see that throughout the game? And I'm gonna go clock it. I'm gonna go clock it because you saw 2 offenses that have West Coast foundations with some creativeness to it, and really some simple things too. I mean, just simple RPO reads. You're only read this linebacker. If he comes down, then you pull it and you throw it to the wide receiver on a slant. If he doesn't, you hand it off. If the linebacker comes, you run. I mean, just simple things making it easy for your running back, your quarterback, your wide receivers, your tight ends. Screens galore in that game. Not all of them worked, but had they, caught the ball, they would have worked. Just a lot of easy buttons being pushed in that game, and I'm like, man, I really hope we form into a West Coast foundation team. It doesn't have to be old school West Coast, but both of those teams have a West Coast foundation. So I feel you, Mark. I do. Is this my guy, Mel?
The king of the morning, and there is none higher. What's up, dog?
What's up, fam? How you feeling?
Man, it's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning, man. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I'm very, very relieved. It would have been a long off season, man, had they held on to that lead, bro. It would have been a long off season had they held on to that lead. So I was loving in the fashion that they lost. So it's beautiful. I hate the Eagles. It was a dude at the party I was at yesterday talking about, oh, you're supposed to be rooting for the NFC. I said, man, if you don't shut up, dog. I'm like, come on, man. But my takeaways from this game, bro, I want to get to it. My takeaways from the game. Number one, man, is explosive players. I don't think that you can really go into another season with your offense formulated around a 37-year-old running back, although he's 26, but a 37-year-old running back that's going to get you 3 yards or 2 yards. You can't do that. You got to have explosive players all over the field, man. That's if you look at Kansas City, they didn't replace Tyreek Hill with another number one, but they replaced him with explosiveness everywhere. If you look at the guys they get the ball to, Pacheco, McKinnon, Juju's not as explosive, but you know he's still got a little burn to him.
Tony,
it's explosive.
Moore. So even though Tony and Moore didn't get a whole lot of receptions throughout the season, they like you said, they threw a lot of explosive play, and that's what they do. McCole Hardman, like that's why I think
man.
Andy Reid,
and you get the ball to them guys on the run. You can get plays, man, and then I'm not saying Dak is Mahomes or anything. I'm not crazy, but if you put him in a system that allows him to get the ball to explosive guys, he can be successful, man. The next part about it is coaching, bro. Like, I'm just tired of people thinking that coaching doesn't matter, and it's just all the players. And if you get this player and get that player, and then you're going to be in a better situation. Yes, the players help, but if you cannot put players in a position to succeed, it does not matter. It does not matter, man.
Bill Belichick said that.
Yeah, it's so obvious, bro. It's just like, come on, man. You're like, I know Cowboy fans, might be upset with Dak and whatever, man. Oh, also congratulations to Dak, man, on that Man of the Year award. And I wanted to call in last week, man. You had a caller. I don't know if he's called in since then, but, he called in, man. He kind of was, saying some disrespectful things about Dak, man, and about him winning the Man of the Year award. Do you remember his name, Scott?
I believe that was Austin who called in and pretty much saying I don't really care about the foundation, and it was bringing up his personal life, like his girlfriend, and saying that he doesn't want to see his face, and he needs to stay inside and study. It was just a lot of weird stuff.
It's sad and hurtful, man. Like, I know that dude probably doesn't think that he is a certain way, but when you talk like that, it's very hard for you to come off as anything other than what you're going to be perceived as. And that what he said, Merle, like about Dak, man, it didn't anger me. It just was hurtful, man, because it's literally like, bro, like, these are still humans. Like, Dak is a human being, bro. Like, for you to dehumanize him in that way, for him to only be a football player and nothing more, and for you to nullify the other deeds that he's done in this world, bro, it's not a good look for you.
Yeah,
it's not a good look for you, Austin.
The I don't care about the humanitarian get me a bowl thing was weird. Like, I don't care about that. Win me a bowl. Win me a bowl. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That sounded. That ain't sound too good.
Yeah, man. I hope if you're listening that you really just take the time to think about what you said and really how it made you look, bro. But Scott, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, man. I'm happy as hell, relieved as hell. Them Eagles got shot out of the sky, my brother. Hey, man, I'm excited to see what Mike McCarthy gonna do. And man, let's get it rolling.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Mel. Yeah, but both sides of the ball, or both teams, I should say, both sides of the field, added those type of players. You know? And I kind of joked about this earlier in the show, and I put it on Twitter. Isaiah Pacheco's a 7th round running back. 7th round running back. And obviously I was being a bit sarcastic because of the whole Bijan Robinson thing. I just don't think you need to do that, right? Like, if they do, yeah, you're going to get, you should at least, get some productive years out of him. But if you go look at not just the Chiefs' history, but Mike McCarthy's history with running backs, they don't invest in high picks in those guys. Well, he was at the Packers, but they didn't really invest in high picks, and they got quality performances out of them. In fact, the Chiefs drafted a running back in the 1st round, and he was a healthy scratch. So Pacheco, the Elijah Mitchells of the world, if you go on the other side, the Gainwells and all those guys that played in the Super Bowl, they're not. In fact, I think it was Marcus Mosier. He puts out this every year. The cap hits, or the amount of money that is dedicated to the running back position in the Super Bowls over like the last 15 years. And you just won't find any of the Super Bowl winners having a guy that's taking up more than like $2 million or something like that. And a guy who won the leading rusher in the Super Bowl who won like $2 million, or who had $2 million, was actually a wide receiver in Percy Harvin. So, I mean, the data's there. You want to ignore the data, that's cool, but the data's there. All right, a couple more, and we're going to get up out of here. 559. What it do?
Hey, how's it going, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear. Good morning.
Hey, man. Here's what I think the Cowboys should do, man, and I want to know your thoughts on it.
Sure.
And the rest of you guys. I think we should invest heavily on the D-line. I mean, not necessarily Deron Payne, but you can see Hankins really made a big difference when he went out. This defense was you could tell his presence was missed.
Yeah,
I think they should just get maybe 2 defensive tackles, but real true nose tackles. To clog that middle, because it helps the linebackers.
I'm all about beefing up the defensive line because that affects the quarterback the most. Now, that didn't happen yesterday, but that was more of an outlier because all season they were harassing quarterbacks. Even Dak Prescott, we won the game, put up 40, but he got sacked, legitimately like 4 or 5 times. He technically got sacked 6, but he legitimately got sacked and pressured a lot in that game. So yeah, I'm all for getting defensive tackles and getting a couple, like you said, not just one, because we did our defensive tackle review last week, and I said, look, yeah, we're going to probably look to bring back the Carlos Watkins of the world. I think Bo is coming back. Neville's all these guys are going to come back, but I would love to get guys to push them off the roster, if that makes sense, right? Even Hankins. I love Hankins, but if we can get a guy in here that outplays Hankins or make Hankins, up his game, now you got Hankins and those 2 other dudes, even better. I'm all about competition, pushing guys out the door, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Here's another name to look at in late rounds, man. Is that Jake Henney from Fresno State. He's a quarterback, and I think he's going to do well. Yes.
All right, I'm going to look that up.
Check it out. I hope Dallas draft him. But
I think they'll draft a Q. Probably, I don't think no earlier than a 4th round, though, but probably day 3.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Should.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I think they should, especially if you need Cooper Rush, maybe. So that's an interesting question. Do you want to bring Cooper Rush back? But I think they should draft one to continue to develop. I mean, that's what McCarthy has done throughout his career. He's always taken a quarterback, whether it be day 2, day 3, and just keep him in the farm system. All right, let's get to one more and let's roll. 817, what it do?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You are live.
You got me? Hey, this is Daryl from Fort Worth, not Dallas. How you doing this morning?
Daryl from Fort Worth, not Dallas. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, look, I have to give me just a teeny bit of leeway. So when I was watching the game, I was thinking like, well, I guess we ought to, be for the NFC, for our division, da. But I have to tell you, while the game was going on, I couldn't help myself to root for Kansas City. I just couldn't help it. So I'm
Kansas
glad
City
that
or
I couldn't.
Philly?
Huh?
You couldn't help yourself to root for Philly. Is that what you mean?
No. I went in the game thinking I should root for Philly because they're in the division.
Right.
We NFC versus the AFC kind of thing. But when I got in there and was watching the game, automatically I was just for Philly. My heart was for Philly, and I just went on with it. I said, okay, well, forget it.
Wait.
Can't stand them.
Wait, you mean your heart was for Kansas City?
I'm sorry, for Kansas City,
Yeah,
right. My heart was for Kansas City.
Me a bit. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Sorry, my bad. My mind said go to Philly, but my heart, while the game was going on, went for Kansas City, and so I'm glad them nasty Eagles lost.
Man,
but
ain't no bone in my body, no brain cell in my body could ever root for Philly, dog. Ever.
I tried to rationalize it. It couldn't happen. It just, my heart wouldn't let me do it.
I don't care about this NFC, AFC. What are we talking? And this ain't you. I'm not coming at you, but I heard Isaiah stand back on, and I'll tell Isaiah this, on his show. And shout out to my guy, Patrick Walker, for shutting this down. But Isaiah was like, yeah, man, well, the NFC, so I'm going to root for the NFC team. And it's just like when I was in college. And if we lost in a track meet, I'm going to root for the Pac-12. I'm like, what? What are you? No. There's not a chance in hell I'm rooting for the Eagles just because they represent the NFC. I don't give a damn about the NFC. What kind of allegiance do I got to the NFC? It made absolutely no sense, man.
I tried it. I couldn't do it.
Of course you couldn't do it because you know why? Your body told you that don't make no sense. Your body was like, nah, fam. Your brain was trying to root for the Eagles. Your body was like, no.
It's a real talk. Real talk.
We're not doing this.
Do it. So now, but I'm glad you had your topic today because I was thinking to myself, now what's the difference between these teams and the Cowboys?
Well, what's the difference between the 4.0 and the 4.6? Shout out to Jay-Z, but go ahead.
Yeah, 6 points, right? 0.6 points, right? So it was like, so for me, there is a difference, but I don't think it's that big a difference. And what I was seeing, and y'all have already kind of touched on it, is the OC is a difference. How the plays are drawn up. Yeah, Mahomes is extraordinary, but there are a lot of them plays, they were wide open. The receivers wide open, and we don't get that. We didn't get that this year. We got it more when Coop was here. We ain't going down that road. But wide receivers wide open. They were able to run the ball because there were some lanes. They're not getting tackled in the backfield and blown up in the backfield. So, yeah, it's offensive line, but I think it's also play design and the way you have the offensive line blocking, that sort of stuff.
So Derek, we can compartmentalize this. Yes, the offensive coordinators is the difference, but the biggest difference are the guys who were up in the stands, in the suites. That's the biggest difference.
Oh, well, yeah, 100, because I could go through all the reasons why that's the truth.
Yeah. But on the field,
I used to not think it was.
On the sidelines, I should say, yeah, that was a big difference. Now, I mean, the quarterback on the Chiefs is one of the biggest differences in the entire National Football League. But for the Eagles, yeah, I think the biggest difference on the sidelines is definitely the schematics.
Well, but even Mahomes, there was some wide open. He had some wide open looks.
Fair. That's absolutely right.
Wide open, wide ass open. Like, dang.
That's fair.
And they were able to run the ball.
That's fair.
And one other thing I came out of the game, I was thinking, God dang it, we still don't know what a freaking catch is.
Oh man,
in the NFL.
And on the same drive too, the same damn drive. And shout out to Nick Bolton, by the way, for any of y'all who was around back in 2019 or 20. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was, when did Nick get drafted? 2021? Yeah. So last year, before the season, I did a bunch of draft shows with it was Foots. I did it with Jeff, and I just became a huge fan of Nick Bolton. In fact, I had Nick Bolton right behind Micah Parsons, and it was Nick Bolton, JOK, and Micah Parsons were my top 3 linebackers. And once we drafted Micah in round 1, if you go back and watch the draft show with me and Boss and OC, I was joking, but I really wasn't joking. I'm like, y'all, I would draft Nick Bolton here in the 2nd round. Well, you can't draft 2 linebackers. Shit, if you give me Nick Bolton and Michael Parsons, we about to terrorize. And, they took Boss, man, fat. And the rest is history. And Nick Bolton borderline almost was the MVP. And I think he got robbed. I thought that was a catch, fumble, picked it up, score. But, whatever. They won anyway.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. So that's just such a trip to me that, I learned that, and I've been playing football since I was a little kid, catch it 2 steps. That's it.
I mean, it was quite
what else you want?
He quite literally caught the ball. And people was like, he didn't make a football move. He caught the ball. 2 feet down, I caught the ball. I don't understand, man. I don't know what a catch is still to this day.
Yeah. And it would have been, and then the other one was when on the sideline, he caught it and fumbled it to me, but he got the ball back. The ball hit the ground a little bit.
Devontae Smith?
It might have been. It was on the right side. He caught the ball, and as he went down, the ball.
Well, that ball clearly hit the ground and moved.
He caught the ball, but he caught the ball 2 steps, and then he went down. That's that other thing that remember. You got to make it. You got to catch it. You got to the way through the.
Right. Was that call upheld? I can't remember.
No.
So it was ruled incomplete.
They called it back.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that just drives me cuckoo when I see that.
Yeah.
So I thought we was past that with Dak when they confessed that about Dak. So anyway. So I guess I'm a Dak fan, but I would trade. I think I might trade Aaron Rodgers for Dak though, if I could do that straight up.
I don't know, man. A-Rod seems to be cooked mentally, physically. Do you want to run A-Rod and McCarthy back again?
Did they win?
In 2010.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's something I would, man. I would look at that very strongly, and I know it's pushing all the chips forward, no doubt about it. And you're gonna do or die with it.
Oh man,
but
it just seems like a guy. I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. Aaron Rodgers, from a talent standpoint, is one of the best we've ever seen do it. But what's the difference if he was here with, not the same talent that he had when he won the Super Bowl? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is gone 12, 13 years now without reaching the Super Bowl with multiple different coaches and rosters. So, I mean.
Yeah, you think he's had a good roster? I don't necessarily think anybody thinks he's had a good roster. I mean, I think the reason.
Daryl.
Hold on.
What are you talking about, this year, or are you talking about over the last 13 years?
Well, I can't say over the last 13. That's a long way back.
Well, you said he didn't have a good roster. I mean, he was 13-3 for the last 2 seasons prior to this year. They went to the NFC Championship game. Well, they actually lost. They lost in a division game to the 49ers, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't. What do you mean he didn't have a good roster?
No, my point is I don't hear anybody blaming Aaron Rodgers for those losses.
Well, he doesn't play for the Dallas Cowboys.
What
are you talking about?
You said he stuck it up in them games.
Did you watch the San Francisco game last year?
When Aaron? Let me tell you, I'm a homer. I don't watch nothing but my team, Cowboys, and I watch the Mavericks. All that watching sports all day long, I'm not the one.
I got you.
So I try to talk about things intelligent that I know about.
I got you. Well, let me just say this.
Just the same.
Let me just say this, brother. If Aaron Rodgers had to come here and run Kellen Moore's scheme with Noah Brown as wide receiver too, Aaron Rodgers would have cussed his ass out. I'll give you that. It wouldn't have been no. Right. It wouldn't have been no. I'm gonna just do what I'm gonna do. He'd have cussed his ass clean out.
Right. Yeah. Right. 100. And Dak, just even when Amari was here, Amari said, "Look, we can't run this comeback on this. Look, he's sitting on it. Let me go deep. I'm just gonna go deep. I'll go by him. Okay, fine.
And he said,
then touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, you need that for a young. Back at that time, he was a young quarterback. He only played 2 years in the league, so you need that for a young guy that doesn't have the juice to be like, nah, F your call at that point in time, right? And now that guy is gone, and we know Dak is going to do, have the marching orders and just, be a coach's player. And hopefully, my hope is that McCarthy gives him a little bit of that leeway to say, hey, man, listen, if you ain't liking this, you can check me on this. Because they ain't friends. Kellen Moore and Dak was friends.
Right. Well, I hope, I hope Dak, whatever the reason becomes, that Dak says, look, this ain't working, go on and go deep. I'm going to hit you. Touchdown.
Well, this scheme will provide, I think, more advantageous things for the quarterback. So I'm kind of eager to see it.
Okay, bud. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
That's all I got.
Yes, sir. Daryl from Fort Worth.
All right, peace.
Not Dallas. He wants y'all to know. He wants y'all to know. Not Dallas. Maybe I'll bring that up tomorrow. We could have did it on the show a couple weeks ago. We kind of briefly mentioned the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't think A-Rod's the one guy that I would do that for. He was about to say Patrick. I'd be like, yes. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. Pat Mahomes is just different. Aaron I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. Ask me this 3-4 years ago, I wouldn't even have a question about it. But at this point, he just seemed like he 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And if it ain't going right, it's just like, whatever. Whatever, dude. I'm going to go, do my mushrooms and I'm just chilling. There's two. Nah, I ain't going to say the other thing. But yeah, I listen, I 100% would bring Pat in here. Of course, who wouldn't? I'm saying, who wouldn't do it? All right, look. Appreciate all the calls today. That Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl loss is presented by Boston Scientific. If you're one of 39 million men in a football franchise that suffers from ED and the franchise's fans, hey, we got a solution for you. Visit edcure.org. Boston Scientific created edcure.org to help you find your best solution and your best cure. If you have a condition that puts you at a high risk, hit the website up. You'll find customized content. Fastest way to find your best cure is to contact an ED specialist by browsing a list of experienced physicians in your area. I'm sure there's a lot in Philly. Visit edcure.org. Brought to you by Boston Scientific. I'm having fun all week with these dudes. Let's read some super chats, man. Facts, Oscar. That is me laughing at Philly fans. As soon as they say, well, your team didn't make it.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Not today, sir. Not today. 3 weeks ago, yeah, you might have had me. Today, it's about basking in your suffering. Your suffering. Marcus Hardison dropped one. Appreciate you, Marcus.
Super chat.
The West Coast offense was on full display from both sides last night. Take notes, Cowboys offensive coaching staff. Bring back safe Dak. Oh, I like that hashtag.
Super chat.
I don't want to be too safe, though. Chevion Wilson, Sirianni on that booger sugar. Facts.
Super chat.
Charlie G dropped 2 and said, I don't believe the cap stuff teams find a way. Yep.
Super chat.
Dropped another one from Charlie G. Jerry Stephen would not spend the money that they would not spend the money. They think their way is working. Draft bargain bin players work. 12-5 is why they think their way works.
Super chat.
Fair enough. Lamitra dropped one. Appreciate you. $2. She said, Brass spend $200 million this year on offense only. So you're saying they should spend $200 million? Not quite sure. Shout out to B Bird.
Super chat.
He was in here earlier. Drop one that said, Kansas City lost Hill, his replacement Juju 6 for 52, Tony 1 touchdown, a punt return, and Sky Moore 1 touchdown. AFC Championship game, MVS had 6 for 116 in the tutty. Their wide receivers that replaced Coop 11 for 149 on the season. Miss Adika drop one. Dang, we got a lot today. I didn't even peep. Appreciate y'all.
Super chat.
She says, Sky, I'm feeling awesome. I dislike the pigeons. I give it to Allen. I guess you mean Hurts. He did pretty good, especially on the fumble. Where are the pigeons at now? Facts. Jay Versick.
Super chat.
Dropped 5 and said, something about bird teams and blowing 10-point leads. Ooh. Cowboys fan talk said that. Rome must have said that. Yeah. And then towboat tie. I saw this going around on the internet. He said, Dak won more trophies than the Eagles did last night. Both my next door neighbors are Philly fans. It's been a personal hell. Feel free, bro. So happy to see them lose. Indeed, man. Indeed. My audio is going crazy right now, so we're going to get up out of here. Hey, Cowboys Nation, appreciate y'all for joining me this morning as we took a look at this Super Bowl, talked a little bit about what it meant for Dallas. Tomorrow we turn the page, though. We'll start talking about free agents, our first free agent primer show. If you guys missed it last year, we talk a little bit about the Cap Boy criteria. We'll list a couple of them, and we'll list about 1 or 2 of the guys that would fit, but maybe don't fit the Cap Boy criteria. So that'll be fun. Y'all can list some guys for me. I won't tell you about the position till tomorrow. It'll just be a surprise. But yeah, it'll be a good show. And then later today, man, set your clocks, press the notification button, whatever you got to do. Vosh Lombardi live over on the volume. I cannot wait for that show. Lots of Eagle fans will probably be there. That'll be fun. 3-ish. I'll at your boy. And then Mo will review the Super Bowl later tonight. A to Z Sports Primetime. Make sure you join him. With that said, man, this audio's killing me. I'm going to go ahead and press this button because I can barely hear what's going on right now. There we go. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight. I'm still stuck in that mode. This morning. Trying to turn this into the best morning show out there, especially by the Dallas Cowboys. So y'all helped make that possible, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. The donations, the chats, the calls. Y'all were fantastic. Love you.